All right. Hello, everybody. Bobby Mitchell here again with Breakthrough to Break Free. Remember, our purpose is to find out your purpose, right? Our passion is your purpose. So we're very excited today. We've got some more special guests. We've got our regulars that are a part of our Conscious Community Media team. And we've got some neat guests that are going to pop in and share because our topic today is goal setting. Right? We've talked about it previously. You might have seen other things. You might have listened. You might have seen some other videos that we've already done. Make sure if you haven't, click on the links below. Click on whatever format that you can see that's below. However you found us, make sure you click on the information so you can connect with our community. There'll be a Facebook community. There'll be our links, our Instagram links, and all the links. Let's connect, right? So make sure you're connected to our family. And we're excited to have you join us. We're excited that you're here, that you took time out to listen however you found us, because we are very, very passionate about helping you get from point A to point B, wherever that is for you, right? For some of you might be just getting started with a business goal or starting a business or thinking about getting involved in starting a business. Or some of you might be veterans like our guest speakers today that have already achieved massive success already in their endeavors. Wherever you fall, we are grateful for you being here, because without you, none of this really matters, right? What we're here to do is help you so you can go help others, because we all have a calling. And that's one thing I learned before I introduce our first speaker, is I remember early in my career when I was not certain that success was something that was sort of this place on a mountaintop that I didn't know I could climb. And I didn't even know what the definition of what success really meant, right? Until my mentor said, why don't you open up a piece of paper? There was, I don't want to age myself, but, at that seminar, there was no laptops at that seminar that I went to, right? It was a notebook. We all had notebooks. And he said, open up a fresh page and write down, what does success looks like to you? What does success mean to you? What does that mean? Right. And I remember I was stumped for a minute there. I success and, have a nice car, have a beachfront home, or, have a hot girlfriend or whatever. I was just, I know that's maybe some important things for some of you, but I realized those are really kind of limiting things. I never went through a process where someone would ask me that question, not just to ask it to me, but they asked me where they can then start creating sort of a blueprint or a plan to help me achieve the success that I really wanted, right? I didn't know that was even a reality, to be honest with you. And so today we're not going to, figure out the meaning of life today. But what we are going to do is start thinking about some steps of setting a goal, right? And if you've watched previous videos, previous information we've shared about limiting beliefs, about your major definite purpose, about your why, right? All these things. Well, setting goals is good. Goal setting is very, very important. And as I mentioned before, there's a common thread that most successful people have, is that they're able to set goals, put a smart plan together, and implement it, and then achieve some goals, right? There's obviously steps and all that. And then they're able to set some more goals and put a plan together and achieve the goals. And they that becomes part of their habits. They've developed a skill on becoming goal setters and goal achievers, right? And that was new to me. And for some of you, might be new too. So stick around. You're going to get some great nuggets today, I promise you. And then make sure you go back and listen to some of our other previous videos that through our links and things, as far as the information that we provide. So with that, that's sort of my setup today. It's powerful information about goal setting. I won't go any further. I wanted to bring up this person who's helped me in variety of areas of my life and my personal life, and setting goals on how to be a better husband, to be a better father. He's helped me in that arena so much, and obviously inside of business too. So I'm honored to always be able to share any time with him. And that's our dear friend and part of our conscious community family, Mr. Alex Padilla. So Mr. Padilla, Alex, thank you for being here. Please share with our audience. You've got years of experience on goal setting. You've helped companies achieve goals and help companies save millions and millions of dollars in the risk management world. So please, share with your experience what goal setting means to you and how can we become better at goal setting.
Great. Thanks for that introduction, Bobby. And yeah, goal setting is so important in achieving anything, any level of success in life. And all of us have goals. Sometimes people don't write them down. They just, move it in whatever direction. But what I want to share with you today is 4 basic things that we need to definitely do as we set goals. And then talk a little bit about what some goals. I had a big business goal that I was able to achieve years ago. And the first thing, and some of this that we're going to share may not be new, but what I'm finding out in life, in anything that you do, sometimes you got to go back to the basics. All right. Why aren't things working? Well, maybe we're overlooking some basic things that we learned that we're no longer doing because we start taking things for granted. One of the worst things that you can maintain in your mind is, yeah, I know. It's frustrating sometimes to speak to somebody and say, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Well, okay, just right, because they know. And if you have the I know attitude, then you're not going to grow. You're not really going to move in the direction that you want to. So the first thing in goal setting is write it down. Okay, write down your long-term goal. Where do you see yourself for 5 years from now? What is it that you want to achieve? Where do you see yourself 3 years from now? All right. So you have short-term and long-term goals. So you have to write them down and they have to be clear and specific, okay? It has to be clear and specific. So I just can't say 5 years from now, I want to be a millionaire, right? Okay, great. Do I play lotto? Or do I get 3 jobs? Exactly what are the steps to get there? I just can't say this is my goal and not have little successive steps. The next thing is that, number 2, does your goal connect with your overall vision? All right. So if I have a business goal to achieve, and I'll share that one with you that I was able to accomplish, I can't necessarily put a sports goal within that vision, right? So I want a business goal has to be business steps within that industry, within that discipline. I can't add other goals in there because they're not compatible. All right. And the goal also has to be realistic. All right. I'll take myself. I'm 66 years old. I like sports, but my goal really can't be to be at the US Open tennis tournament as a contestant. Possibly, maybe not. Okay. So that may not necessarily be a realistic goal that I'm working towards. So again, your goal has to be realistic. It can't be something that you really, can achieve. And not putting limiting beliefs in there, but it has to be within, again, realism. The third thing is, what do you need to do to accomplish your goal? All right. Do you need finances? Do you need to be in a specific geographic area? Do you need somebody to coach you? Do I have to go to school? Hey, obviously, robotics is something new that we're looking at in our society. We're going to be more and more used to automation. So if I want to get in that field, me right now, I have no idea. So I definitely have to go to school to learn the skills, to learn, that area. So if that's my goal, then I have to definitely go to school. And then the last thing is, what are the short-term steps that you need to take to get to that 5-year goal? What are the little steps that I need to take? What are the little things that I need to do to get there? And again, we've all heard the term, how do we eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time, right? So just to use that, it has to be successive steps to build towards that, right? If I wanted to lose 50 pounds in a year, I just can't do that overnight. But I could target maybe like 4 pounds a month. Seems doable, right? To where I build up towards that. If I want to save $10,000 this year, well, I got to start saving a little bit at a time. The overall goal doesn't really happen overnight. In the music industry, oh wow, he or she's an overnight success. No, the overnight success happened when nobody heard about that person. All of a sudden they hit the scene, but there were so many steps that person had to take to get to that overnight success, right? Again, our successes and reaching our goals do not just happen overnight. You have to build on them. And let me share with you in the next few minutes I have left is I was working for a company that owned hotels all over the country. They had 89 hotels, major hotels, Marriott's, Hilton's. And my job that I was able to get was I was director of risk management. And as a director of risk management for this large hotel group, they needed someone to oversee their risk, their safety, to bring down their losses, to manage their insurance costs and things of that nature. So I had to basically create a risk management program under which hotel can be in. So my task within 18 months, I had to visit every single hotel. So I had to go from Florida to Salt Lake City, Utah, to Colorado, to New York. I mean, literally all over the country. Needless to say, I grabbed a lot of frequent flyer miles. It was great. I love the upgrades, you know. But I had to make a plan a little bit at a time. How do I attack this? So I had to break things down by region. Okay, these are the regions I have to go to. I had to call each general manager saying, hey, I'm coming out to your hotel, schedule time. Obviously, just plan everything. And the great thing was after that time period, in 2 years, I was able to develop a risk management program where every general manager knew who I was. I would call, they'd pick up the phone. In fact, a lot of the housekeeping people knew who I was. I would walk into the hotel, they know me by name, and they were happy to see me. I'm bilingual, so it helped that with the Spanish-speaking housekeepers. And some of them used to have lunch for me, rice and beans. Hey, I'll eat it. Let's go, you know. But it was a little bit at a time that I was able to gain people's confidence, and they would allow me in. Because that's the thing about leadership and whatever you do. You have to gain people's confidence to allow you to get to that goal, right? The goal that I had wasn't just being by myself maneuvering. I could have, but I needed to gain people's confidence to allow me to come in and help them. And overall, during the last 2 years while I was there, I was able to save our hotel groups in general over $1 million and more on a yearly basis on workers' comp, premiums, and losses. So we were able to achieve something big for them. And that was probably one of my major achievements in business. So I had the overall goal that I was given. But again, as I indicated before, there were little steps that I had to do. And along the way, never think that you're achieving the goal by yourself, okay? The way we are, we're social creatures. There's very little goals that you could do by yourself. Even writing a book, you're writing a book by yourself, but there's people that you need to collaborate with, right? Somebody has to read it. Somebody has got to guide you along. I'm stuck here, need a publishers. It's almost, difficult to do anything by yourself. And many of us are in the business world, so we have to keep in mind it's a collaboration. Whatever your goal is, what are the steps that you need to take? Who are the people? What are the resources you need? And you put them all together. And every day when you wake up, you have that goal in mind. What do I need to do today? And at the end of each day, what I do is look back. Hey, did I do anything to achieve my goal? And if I didn't, why? And then what do I have to do tomorrow? You have to reassess yourself every day as you move on. So that's what I wanted to share to you in terms of goal setting for today, and hopefully that helped. So right now I want to introduce Mr. Brian Bodenhamer, my associate and brother over in Indianapolis, Indiana, in the Midwest. And I'm in California, so I'm not going to tell him what kind of temperature we have here. But I've known Brian for a while, and I respect him. He's a guy who's been a mentor to me. He doesn't know that, but I've learned a lot from him in terms of not managing, I would say a better word, how to really relate to people, how to develop networks of people and learn from them. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Brian Bodenhamer. Go ahead, Brian, you got it.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to get this in before something happens to my computer. So hello, everybody. My name is Brian Bodenhamer. I have known Alex and Bobby for years, and these guys are the best edifiers of me that I'm a little bit embarrassed sometimes how they do it. So I appreciate you guys and love you guys. And I will talk to you a little bit about goals. And I'm going to tell you a little story about myself when it comes to goals. Hold on a second. So what I know about goals, guys, is you have to make a decision. You can set a goal and then you have to make a decision that you're going to do it no matter what. Some of you have seen me talk about the 5 levels of commitment, and those are so important when you're setting the goals. And my story goes, I used to be I'm a big guy still, 280 pounds, but I used to weigh 100 pounds heavier. It's 100 pounds heavier not too long ago. And my wife and I made a decision a few years ago that we were going to drop weight. And we made that decision, and we did the little steps that are required, the daily methods of operation, so that we could drop the weight. And between us in 9 months, we dropped about 120 pounds. That's a lot between two people. That's a tired human being, you know? And it was amazing. It was amazing that we took the small steps every day. We made our meals, and when we prepared, we hit the goals. And we hit the little goals, and then we hit the big goals. And we ended up having to buy 2 new wardrobes because of that. And it was amazing. And I will tell you guys that part of that was, along with the little daily pieces of operation we did every day, we also set a big vision, and we did a vision board. And a lot of it had all to do with what we wanted to, how we were going to do it. It was the meal planning. So we took pictures of that. We did, you know, my workouts. I did a sweaty t-shirt of the day. So I had about half the people say, please don't. Other people like, I'm inspired. And they started posting their sweaty shirts of the day. Again, we talked about what we ate. When we prepared something really good, we take a picture of that and take pictures of us walking and just what we did along the journey. And you know what happened? 9 months later, we were announced as winner of this international competition. And we went to Hawaii for a week, all expenses paid. It's amazing. So that vision, those daily operation pieces that you do every day, so huge in setting the goals. And I will tell you, I don't mind the big goals, the big audacious goals, but you still have to have a plan. And if you don't have a plan as you're doing that, it's just a dream. So with that, I want to give my time to a very special lady that I know. She and I've known each other for about a year now. She's also here in Indianapolis, and she has this company called Elevate. And I'm going to let her talk a little bit about that and what she knows about setting goals, because she is amazing. She's been an inspiration to me over the last few years. And I'll let her talk about her Facebook page, and if she wants to invite you, I'm sure she will. But Jennifer, the floor is yours, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
I don't want to talk too much about myself, but yeah, I own Elevated Marketing Solutions. I do digital marketing. I've been in it for at least 15 years, pretty much since the beginning. So I've come from a large corporation where I was 3 steps below the CEO, in charge of 28 people and 10.5 million in marketing, to my why, down to I have 3 people by design. I don't want any more than that. I don't care about the ego. Let go of it. When you guys are talking, I might give a different perspective, and I love that, though. Different perspectives help you grow. Execution is something that I focus on with goals, and I tend to be more loose and broad on the goals that I want to achieve, but I look more at the individual steps. And I think Will Smith said it well with building a wall. I don't look at this big giant wall and everything that I have to accomplish to get that wall. I'm going to lay each one of these bricks as perfectly as I possibly can. And before you know it, you get back and you're like, well, dang, I built a wall. And I think people get overwhelmed, though, because they look at that wall and they're just like, there's no way I can get to that. And I love strategy. That's what I do all day long. But I don't try to overthink it. Execute, fail, move forward. All right, what did I learn from that? Where can I go from now? So those are the things that I would focus on, and let go of your ego when it comes to the goals. Focus on what makes you happy, not what the rest of the world is going to make happy. Because the rest of the world would be like, man, these people are successful because they got 30 employees, they got 50. No, I'm successful because I have 3 and I make more money than what you make at 30, and I'm good. Like, so that's all my story.
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate you coming on and sharing with us. Now what I'd like to do is throw this back to a gentleman that is on our team, Mr. Ryan Collar. I've known Ryan for about a year, and he has such an amazing story in goal setting. He's really achieving one of his big goals this year, and I'll let him talk about that a little bit. So Ryan, if you're there, do you mind sharing a little bit about your story and your goals?
Hey, Brian, thank you very much for that introduction here. And good afternoon, CCM community. My name is Ryan Collar. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Hope everyone's wearing green on this beautiful day. The importance of goal setting, having goals in our lives that we want to accomplish, achieving those goals, and getting our desirable results in the end. Goal setting is a continual process. It's a daily process. It's something that we should be constantly revising, writing down, working towards, and asking ourselves why each goal is important to us. When we ask ourselves why a particular goal is important to us, why we want to achieve this goal, goal setting now becomes a powerful motivator and skill. Goal setting is one of the most important skills to develop. If we want to design our future, we all have a choice: make a living or design a life. Without goals, it is easy to let without goals, it is easy to let life deteriorate us to the point where we are just trying to make a living. Without goals, it is easy to settle for existence rather than substance. In closing, I would like to share a little daily nugget with you in reference to the importance of goal setting. To design your future, you must have goals, well-defined goals. Well-defined goals are like a magnet. They will pull you in your direction. And the better you define them, the better that you describe them, the harder you will work for them, on them, and the stronger they will pull at you. Thank you for letting me share with you today on the importance of goal setting. And back to you now, Bobby.
Fantastic job, Ryan. Man, that was some good stuff, man. Make a living or design a life, right? Make a living or design a life in a process. And thank you, Jennifer. I mean, I actually seen that Will Smith too, that brick by brick. I love that. Doing one brick at a time, and execution and strategy. I mean, there's so many great stuff that was shared in this short period of time. Brian with his vision board, what's going on with having a vision and setting the goals. You got an example of him accomplishing a goal. And Alex taking a company, helping them save millions and millions of dollars. In closing, as far as today's episode, it's about goal setting, and there's a variety of things that was shared today. So, what I want to encourage each of you to do is, the call to action today is do sort of what I did early on. Just open up a new document, a new page, a new notebook, a new page in your notebook, and just number one, what do you want? What is it that you'd like to accomplish? Number one, number two, number three, whatever they are. Lose weight, eat healthy. We've talked about this in previous episodes, but there's a call to action for you to take action today, where you just write down some things that you'd want to accomplish. What are some goals in your life today? You know what I mean? One of the goals that I've just, I'm studying all these different type of like keto diets and exercise plans, because you know what? I want to be able to say I'm in the best shape of my life. I want to be able to say that and mean that, right? And I'm not in terrible shape, but I'm definitely not in the best shape that I've ever been, right? And I've met other people that are in the 50s and different things like that. I just met somebody that was 57 years old, and he said he's in the best shape of his life. I'm like, wow, okay, right? And that's what's neat about life, is if you look around. Ryan talked about this, of getting clear on your goals. It's amazing what happens when you get clarity, because even as Jennifer shared, putting one brick at a time, no matter what, if you gotta want, the goal is obviously build a wall, right? Build a wall, and then you lay one brick at a time. So we're all talking about the same thing, What's going to work for you is going to be a little bit different than Alex. It's going to be a little bit different than me. It's going to be different than Jennifer, than Brian or Ryan, or, you know, all our conscious community family. And it's going to be different from the people even you look around. So remember, this is about your purpose, you, because remember, you matter. You are significant. God created you for a purpose, and your purpose has nothing to do with anybody else. Not a single person, not another person on the planet Earth. Okay. So the key thing that you want to do is start writing down what is it that you want? What is it that you want? And that was what I did early on, as I mentioned at the beginning, is just to write down, what does success look like? Owning a car. I didn't have a car at that time. You know, this, just write it down. That's the start. For those of you that are way beyond that, and you've already plugged into all of our other videos, and you already have some major definite purpose written out, you've already recognized your limiting beliefs. Okay, so now we're going to get strategy. We're going to put some strategy and start putting an execution plan. We need to put a game plan together to help you accomplish your goals. There needs to be a game plan. And I'll leave you with this story. My mom and I were having dinner. I'm visiting my family right now. My mom is 83 and my dad's turning 84 on Sunday. And I'm up here visiting him in Sacramento, California. And she was talking about when I was playing football in high school, right? Because we were on we didn't make it to the state championships, where we came in fourth place out of the state, right? We lost in the Northern California. We were going to go represent Northern California to play the Southern California championship, right? And we lost in that game. So we came in fourth, right? It's okay. But my mom was sharing with me, and I forgot that she had driven to the game. And I live in Sacramento. My high school is in Sacramento, and we had to drive to the Bay Area. Now, my mom is, those of you who don't know, she's from Japan. She speaks English, but doesn't, not fully language. And for her to drive any length of time, and this is back in the day, again, I don't want to age myself, but no, there was no GPS. Okay, there was no GPS. So she had her goal was to get to the football game, right? Just get to the football game. I got to go see my son play this championship game, right? And she was sharing with my son and his girlfriend and my dad about that. And I didn't know this story. For some reason, maybe she told, but I never. And she goes, yeah. And she had collaborated with some other moms, and she had a car full, and she was driving to the game, and they had maps, right? You understand, my mom doesn't speak English, so it's not a Japanese map, it's an English. But bottom line, they knew the sort of the area, but they had a goal to get to the game. They never found the stadium from the map. What happened was, once they got too close to the stadium, because they were going and they got close enough, there was lights on the stadium because it was an evening game. And she goes, I found it because the lights, she saw the stadium lights. And she came to the game. And I share that story because, you know what? Sometimes that you set a goal and you may not be sure how you're going to get there, but there will always be a way to get there if you stay persistent and you stay in your purpose and you bring passion to what you want. God will find a way for you to get there if it's meant to be. And there'll be lights on the stadium to help you reach that goal. And that's hopefully what we're doing here at Conscious Community Media, is the lights in the stadium to help you reach that goal, no matter as long as you keep going, keep moving. So with that, we thank all our guests today that came on. Thank you, everybody, for making this episode powerful and your shares today. For those of you that are listening and watching this, make sure you click and link each of the speakers. There'll be a link below so you can connect with them individually, as well as our community of Conscious Community Media. Okay, so take care. God bless. And remember, your purpose is our passion, and we are transforming leaders to transform the world, and you matter. Okay, so go give it your very best. Give life your best, because you deserve it. With that, God bless, guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.